Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
Well, we've got about 15 minutes left before the Scotch test dummies come on again. So I would have done these videos last night, but I was doing a live stream. And people have been requesting during the live stream and so on that I do the Johnnie Walker Gold label because I mentioned it a week or two ago. And, well, here it is. I have the Johnnie Walker Gold Label Reserve. It says blended Scotch whiskey. It is 40% alcohol by volume, 750 mils. I've got so many starters now. So many starters. The Celebration Blend. Okay, when John Walker first established his family business in 1820, he began a lineage of pioneering whiskey craftsmen that continues unbroken to this day. The expertise of these craftsmen has been passed down from generation to generation. Inspired by this rich tradition, we have today created Johnnie Walker Gold Label Reserve, a vibrant and contemporary celebration of the art of blending Scotch whiskey. As Master Blender, I have personally chosen casks of my favorite whiskeys from selected reserves to craft this whiskey of vibrant character. The result is a sweet and fruity blended Scotch whiskey that evolves into deep, honeyed tones and long, lingering waves of light smoke. Best served over crushed ice with a slice of orange. Johnnie Walker Gold Label Reserve is perfect celebration of the art of blending, created for today's moments of celebration. Okay. Master Blender's Reserve. Okay, well, give this a shot. This is a nice box for the display back there. And, wow, there's one of these things in here to make it so that it fits. So it's a big box, but just your standard size Johnnie Walker. Is this 700? I believe it's 750. Yeah, and 40%, quite standard kind of stuff. Okay, there's one of these C-shaped things on here. And wouldn't you know it, I trimmed my nails. And I need a knife to pull the C-shaped thing. Okay. Let's have a little pop. Oh, that's a nice little pop. So now just a few days later, I'm looking at the video again, and I realized that the rest of it from this point on is quite rushed, and it wasn't very good. The results were terrible. I was mixing my words up and being completely confounded in the head, and I think my tasting was off too, so I'm gonna do this part again. Here we'll leave off or start where we left off. There is the Gold Label Reserve. That is what the bottle looks like right there. And the pop is slightly different the second time. The cork is slightly wet. The glass is slightly dirty, but that's the way I like it. The last time I put it in a different kind of glass and I didn't get as much nosing. It was like a little dessert wine glass because all the Glencairns were dirty. And all the Glencairns were soaking in the sink, except for the one that I had here, which still had some Seagram's VO in it because I wanted to finish doing the video before the Scotch Test Dummies came on Sunday. So now it's Wednesday morning. It is 19 after 8. My breakfast is just warming up on the stove, and while the breakfast is warming up on the stove, I'm going to have a dram of this. On the nose. Or maybe my sniffer is off today too. Let's see. It's quite light. It's very much a Speyside style. There's some sherry in it. I'm getting fruits. I'm getting some plums. Some pineapple a little bit. Raisins. Just a little bit of cinnamon. Now the vanilla's coming in. I'm getting vanilla. Along with the vanilla, light caramel, almonds, marzipan. It's not a very intense nose. This is, after all, bottled at 40%. So the alcohol is not carrying vanilla, a little more caramel and toffee. What does it say down here? The Master Blender's Reserve, la réserve du Maître Distillateur, finest malt and grain whiskeys. Okay, there's grain in here too. And it's 40%, yeah, it is 40%. On the back is gold label reserve, drink responsibly, from Diageo. Now, Johnnie Walker is all from Diageo. Curiously, I'm not getting any more than a slight hint of smoke. A very slight hint. I'm going to cleanse the palate because I've had nothing to eat or drink. In about 10 hours. Swami Suave, malted in Montreal, did a nice little live show last night, a live stream. And it was great fun to be commenting on the stream and him being on camera at the other end for a change. I think we tease each other, me and him. Yeah, that was fun. The only trouble is I was on my phone, and even though my fingers are not the fattest fingers in the world, I was having a real pain trying to get the words right. And even if I did get it right, I had this spell checker that changed the words that I was writing. And because I was having this problem with the spell checker, when I typed Lottie Linya, Swami didn't get Lottie Linya. He actually said at one point, "Do you mean Loretta Lynn?" No, Lottie Linya. Pinto will know what I'm talking about, obviously. I'm learning so much from you people out there who comment and make videos that I'm watching. My whiskey education is really growing by leaps and bounds, and general knowledge too. Just trivia. My gosh, I didn't know there was so much trivia associated with whiskey, but I'll drink to that. Now let's taste it, since I did toast, sorta. It's quite creamy. Quite creamy. it has something tingly. I know it's not alcohol burn. It's something tingly. It's fruity. Yeah. It's fruity. It's got caramel. It's got a bit of toffee, bit of butterscotch, bit of vanilla, not too much. There's more vanilla on the nose than on the palate. It's not very viscous. It's quite thin. It's a really rather watered down kind of experience. You can taste the grain in there too. You can taste that there is grain whiskey, but it's quite well masked by the malt component, and I find that it's really light. And they suggest putting it over crushed ice. Clearly, they're not catering to the Scotch drinker. They're not catering to the experienced Scotch drinker. They're catering to somebody who will celebrate once a year, or to someone who's not a Scotch drinker at all, but who wants to show that he has something classy. This is not something that I would drink regularly. I would What did I pay? That's always the question. What did I pay? It was $78.95, and with the 15% of taxes, being goods and services tax and recycled deposit and alcohol liquor tax, $90.84. To be quite frank and honest, I can get lots better things for less money than that. If you are not a Scotch drinker and want to try Scotch for the first time, this is very mild. There's nothing offensive in it, but there's nothing really floats my boat. It's watered down. This could surely benefit from a higher ABV. Wait, now on the nose I'm getting a little more, as it's been sitting in the glass for a little while. I'm getting some apricots. Getting a little bit more cinnamon than there was. I smell mushrooms. Wonder why. Okay, now on the aftertaste there is a hint of smoke. It's subtle, but it's there. But still, as far as a Scotch drinker's experience, it's quite thin and watered down. It's almost like, well, I wouldn't go quite so far as to say that it's like colored vodka, but if I didn't mention it already, it could use a much higher ABV. It could use 46, definitely 46 at least, because at 40 it's too low. Do not put water in this, you won't taste a damn thing. Well, okay, for experiment's sake, let's try that. Let's just put a wee drop. Oh. Something is happening. Is it a wee strawberry note? Raspberry jam? Very subtle though. Okay, this brings out berries and fruits a little more. I think it's bringing a little more vanilla now with the water. A little less caramel. One more taste. Tastes really much more watered down. The water benefits the nose a little bit. Now it's a bit salty at the end. It's not smoky anymore, it's a bit salty. And now, not only is it salty, it's getting bitter. Bitter at the end. This is probably the bitterness caused by the tannins of the oak in which the grain spirit, of which this is a component, was aged. I do not recommend adding water to this at all. If you're not a Scotch drinker, this might work for you. If you're just starting out on Scotch, but still, it is expensive. 90 bucks. 90 bucks for a 40% beginner. Some may think it's exquisite, but with the flavors involved, but they're not very strong. You need more alcohol to carry that flavor for the experienced Scotch drinker. Well, either way, sláinte, and to your very good health.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.